Organizations are going to realize that the contact center capturing what customers actually said, how they said it, how they felt is more objective in that data. And so that will be the source of truth, not the CRM. We're going to see them invest huge amounts in conversation intelligence rather than relying on manual CRM entry.
Welcome to Always On CXCX, the show for contact center and IT leaders. Between helping support your contact center reps, your customers, and the tech that makes the contact center function, you're relied upon quite a lot. You can't afford for your customer experience, employee experience, or stability of the contact center to falter. If you're ready to find the next strategy to keep your customer and employee experience always on, let's get into this episode.
So in terms of my top 5 predictions for 2026 in the contact center environment, if I was to put them into 5 categories, I think the first one would be what I would say humans win and bots assist. I think what we've seen in the past couple of years is a little bit of a rush to what I would class as over-automation with the launch of large language models and AI being available to the masses, should we say. I think there was a bit of a rush to do that over-automation. And I think we're going to see a return. We already have seen a slight return in 25, but I think we're going to see even more of a return in 2026 to real human connections. So contact centers being designed for people first and bots second. I think customers are increasingly opting out of those AI loops that they seem to go round in circles and requesting human agents straight away. So I think we're going to see an increase in that. And I think that contact centers that bury that talk to a person option really frustrate customers, and it loses loyalty to those businesses. So I think they're going to move back to a little bit of giving that option up front. Self-service only tends to work when it's faster and easier. Otherwise, human interaction wins. So as a couple of examples, a customer might use an IVA for an order update, but then they want an escalation to an agent who sees the entire prior exchange. We're going to see contact centers design IVR flows to always include that option to speak to a human at every step rather than buried deep within menu systems. It'll be if you want to speak to an agent, say now or at any point, and we'll put you through. I think secondly, we're going to see CRMs lose a little bit of their status as the gospel of truth. And by that, I mean, we're going to see CRMs not being the center of those discussions when it comes to where is all of the data captured and where is that center of truth. I think we're going to notice that people realize that that data and that truth lies in contact center conversations. So organizations are going to realize that the contact center capturing what customers actually said, how they said it, how they felt is more important or is more objective in that data. And so that will be the source of truth, not the CRM. So customers invest huge amounts or we're going to see them invest huge amounts in conversation intelligence rather than relying on manual CRM entry. So we're going to see customers and contact centers automatically push transcripts and summaries and sentiment analysis from contact centers into the CRM rather than relying on human agents providing that data. So we're going to see where that real intelligence comes from. Thirdly, in terms of trends for 2026, we've already seen it again, as I mentioned in 2025, but I think we're going to see it increasingly more in 2026, that people are going to increasingly move back to voice as a primary interface. That hasn't changed much over the last few years, but I think we're going to see voice actually make a little bit more of a comeback and as the primary interface and method for customers to get in touch with contact centers. I think we're going to see that in terms of voice, even if it's bots and automation and AI, I think we're still going to see voice being the primary interface for that. So that's going to be the default across devices, apps, and workflows. That conversational interface is going to drive most customer interactions. So, for example, we're going to see people using conversational IVR a little bit more. We're going to see people talking to bots by voice rather than by text, speaking long prompts and questions, and talking to AI assistants as well as the human intervention in terms of voice as well. and probably see a little bit more of a mass adoption of that conversational IVR to do certain tasks, so lookups and appointments and making payments, for example. Number 4, in terms of trends, I think we're going to see that AI is going to be directly built into tools, and the successful AI tools are going to be the ones that are already embedded or added on into an existing platform rather than point solutions. I think we've seen a lot of customers really struggle when they've tried to juggle multiple different AI tools with separate different logins, separate different interfaces, stuff that lays over the top a little bit or tries to integrate, but it's still a third party. I think we're going to see the AI winners are going to be the ones that aren't necessarily the flashiest. It's the ones where they integrate and embed into a current and existing workflow, and platforms that bake AI, their existing platforms, are going to beat those standalone point solutions. I think the final one would be the ROI element. I think the ROI is going to be a key driver in 2026. There was a massive rush to do something in AI in the past few years, it seems. Everyone had some kind of AI solution. Everyone was drawn into the keeping up with the Joneses, and organizations felt that they had to do something in AI. And so they'd rush to do something without thinking about the measurable business impact. So I think we're going to see customers and organizations move back into what we're trying to achieve here. Is it reducing effort? Is it reducing cost? Is it reducing handling time? And actually having a look at the measurable impact of AI and just ask the question, why? What are we trying to achieve? We probably going to see AI deployments have a lot stronger, clear KPIs, actually measuring, is it successful and why is it successful? I think we're going to see people, especially in the contact center arena, look at the metrics a little bit more in terms of, has it improved measurably for average handle time? Has it improved the misroutes that go through to the wrong agents? Has it increased or decreased deflection? Has it increased or decreased wrap-up time? I think those sort of values and those specific KPIs are going to be really, really key in terms of measuring the effectiveness of AI. And we're going to get a lot more stats, I think, this year for 2026 of customers where they've had a measurable impact, and it can actually be sort of proven with an ROI and actually quantifiable. So hopefully we're going to see customers that can say, we've reduced misroutes by X percentage, we've shortened our time to resolution by X% or X time, and AI summaries and sentiment analysis have cut wrap-up time by 45% or whatever the figures may be. But I think we're going to see a lot more specific data that's going to be really, really powerful from an ROI perspective. So if I was to put 5 key predictions in, I think it'd be those 5.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Always On CXCX. If you learned one thing from this episode, we'd appreciate if you'd subscribe and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. If you're using Microsoft Teams and are looking to integrate a contact center, consider trying Voca for free for 30 days. Voca is built on Microsoft Azure, meaning your customer interactions start, stay, and end with the same reliability and 5.9 uptime as Microsoft Teams. Just Google AudioCodes Voca or find the link in the show notes. Thank you again for tuning into this episode of Always On CXCX, and we'll see you in the next one.